Edition of Africa Teaching, a production of the Pepperbird Magazine and Chesson Worldwide Communications 360. Today we are so excited. We have three illustrious, distinguished women on our show. We are honored to have them because they have a total of 45 years of experience as public servants. Isn't that amazing? And I have to introduce them now because we have a lot of questions for them. To my immediate left is Representative Anastasia Williams, who has served in public service for 27 years. And is the representative for District 9. Next, we have State Representative Grace Diaz. She has served for 26 years.
15.
I'm sorry, 15 years. Let's get it straight. For District 11. And actually, Grace, you are also the first Dominican woman to be elected to an office.
I will clarify, Dominican American, because Anastasia Williams was the first female.
First female?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And to my immediate right is State Representative Marcia Ranglin-Vassell, who has served for the past 3 years, District 9.
District 5.
I'm sorry, 5. I'm getting it all mixed up here. Thank you for correcting me. I don't want to insult your constituents. And by the way, I am in her district, so I should know better. But with that said, I have to ask you ladies, you have very demanding jobs. And you're all serving public servants. Why did you pick a career to serve as state representative? Anastasia, could you give that a shot?
Sure. First and foremost, thank you for having all of us take part in this interview. I'm happy to be here. But I was raised in a family setting where public service was a way of life. It was a daily situation where we are each other's keeper. It wasn't an issue of who had what or where you came from. If the need warranted and we were able, we did what we needed to do. Mm-hmm. So it was a natural thing for me. I'm embedded in, I won't call it tradition, but I will certainly call it a way of life. And it's just continuing.
Next.
In my case, before I answer the question, I would like to say thank you, Karen, for the great opportunity. It's the second time you invite me. And today I am in the great company of two of my colleagues in the House of Representatives. And it's good to know that we increased the number of women of color inside the House of Representatives. But in my case, is that my job brought me into it, politics and the possibility to become a public servant. I was a home childcare provider, Latina, very limited knowledge of English or the way the system works. But I knew at that time, in 2004, that many women in the state of Rhode Island need to be represented well in the House of Representatives. And working as a home childcare provider and working with unions, we decided to have a voice. And it was the circumstances that brought me into the decision to become elected official. My friend here, Williams, was one of the first come to my fundraiser 50 years ago, and we are continue to working together. But it was my job to bring me into the public service.
Wonderful. Marcia?
Yeah. Thank you, Karen and Chesson Worldwide 360 for this kind invitation. Distinguished panel with my colleagues, Chairwoman Williams and Representative Diaz. The question, how did I get into public service? I have been doing this all my life, ever since I was a little girl. My parents taught us, it's myself and 8 siblings, taught us the value of giving back. My dad, who never knew how to read or write, started a preschool and a church in front of our house in 1963. And when I go to Jamaica in the summertime, I'll go to the church that my dad started, and the preschool is right there. I remember my dad bringing people home, random strangers who he did not know, but who needed a place to stay. And they came and they could stay at our house as long as they wanted. And we had simply 2 rooms, and that's where people stayed. I also remember when I was about 15 years old, we had no running water in our community. And my siblings and I and some teenagers, we all demanded government to provide water, running water, which is a public, a human right water, clean water.
Sure.
So I have been in public service all of my life, and it's something that's really laced in my DNA because of my parents and what they did, so it's not new to me.
Did you know that if you're between the ages of 18 and 35, you're 10 times more likely to die from a car crash?
Increase your odds by 50%.
Just by wearing a seatbelt.
It can make the difference between living or dying.
I know this.
We know this.
Do you?
So click it or ticket. In Rhode Island, it's the law. Seatbelts save lives.
Welcome to Amos House. I'm Jessica Salter. I'm the Director of Development here. Amos House is a multifaceted social service agency on the south side of Providence, Rhode Island. We have been here for about 42 years, but we've been in this new facility, our new building, for about 2 years now. What's directly to my left is our soup kitchen, which is the heart of our organization. It's our oldest program. We serve anywhere from 500 to 900 individuals a day in just breakfast and lunch meals. We have housing for the homeless, permanent supportive housing, job training programs in culinary arts and carpentry maintenance fields, adult education programs, emergency assistance programs. Basically, if you need help, you can find it here at Amos House. Feel free to give us a call if you need any assistance.
The long hours, we were just talking a few minutes ago, and you don't complain at all. You just know what you have to do, and you run after one event after the other, and some are not actual events. They're speaking, you're working, you're trying to make a difference in your district. Can you share with our viewers just what excites you about serving as this state representative? Anastasia's been state rep for 20 years plus, 27 years. I'd be whipped by 27 years, but you still, your personality just pushes you forward. If it's for the people, then you're there. And I'd love you to be able to let us know what excites you about this job.
Me or one of them?
Anybody.
I was first. I'm gonna have to let my sisters right here.
What excites me the most about this job is, and first of all, what I do is what women do for centuries, doing this kind of work, raising kids, working in the factory, working in the farm. So what we are doing, what I am doing, is not unique to me, or it's not because I am special. I am doing this. Women have done this for so long, and we will continue to do this because we're women. But what excites me the most about being an elected official is the fact that I can actually represent the people. I can bring voices into the State House that are not usually in that room. Most of the voices that I like to bring are the voices of the marginalized, the voices of the oppressed, and people that have been shut out of opportunities for a long time. And my tagline, if you will, it's fighting for all of us. And so that is what excites me the most, fighting for everybody. I believe in fairness, I believe in equity, and I believe in justice. And so just the hope that we can change the trajectory of people's lives is really what excites me the most.
Well, if I can explain why it's making me exciting every day to go to the State House, I will say in one simple word. I want somebody like me, like many of people in my community, be there when the great things happen. And I say that because you know better than me, because you live in this country, you are a professor or were a professor in Brown University. But when General Assembly was established, the only people who had right to be elected, participate, was white people who has land, slave, and money. It was restricted to women of color, to people of color for many, many years. So at the moment it was established was to elevate the opportunity for white people more than anything else. So in the community that I'm representing, which is the community that is always behind based on the language barrier, economic access to opportunity, education, and so many other things. We need to have somebody who has the spirit like all of us to go there and be sure that other people know that Rhode Island has people that need all the attentions and deserve it as many other people. So what is exciting most of the time to me is to be there and show that I'm proudly Latina, African American lady who don't speak the language well, but I'm fighting for people like me, like others. I'm fighting for single women who don't have the opportunity, for undocumented students, for people of color, low income, and that's exciting me because when I came to the United States, I don't have nobody who can fight for me. So I am that person now, fighting for others who never had a chance.
Well, for mine, it's a combination of both what both my sister and colleagues have presented here. But a little further is that here I am, a voice for the voiceless. I can better present the hardship and the trials and tribulations, because I've been exposed to it, I've been involved in it, and I'm part of it. Who better can tell the story than a person who is experiencing it? I have been privileged to be able to see both sides of the coin. There is nothing new under the sun, and many are called, but few respond. And I am one of those who, I wasn't responding, I wasn't ready. But when I embraced it, I saw, even though I was raised in a family of giving, I was not ready to give of myself in the manner for which I am now doing. The joy that I get from helping someone is so priceless, because the suffering for which I see and others have experienced is something that I can talk about. In my upbringing, for many times throughout the years, my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and uncle sheltered us from the hardship, the hard blows that society was throwing at us. So while we were aware that it existed, they made sure that it didn't affect us, morally. Integrity, courage, and loyalty was something that they engraved in us every single day. So it gives me much pleasure to be able to be a public servant, to be able to express myself on the reality of the hardship that the marginalized community, the poor community, the community of color faces on a daily basis. Because, as many of you all know, I don't sugarcoat anything. Because what happens when we sugarcoat, we make believe and we condone the behavior of others who are oppressing us. So it doesn't work well for all of us. It only works better for some. I just keep on keeping on, because not only do I know who I am and proud of being who I am, but equally or better than that, I know whose I am. So the courage that comes out of me genuinely on behalf of my constituency. Not only those that look like me, but those that are in need of what I can do for them, in the sense that representation for the community at large.
Thank you. You all are so thoughtful. And I do have a question about challenges. What do you find challenging about public service, and how do you address those challenges? Because it seems to me, as you're implementing your work, you gotta have, it can't be smooth sailing. And I know you must have some challenges that you might want to share, and how you handle it.
Let me start, because I feel like we are switching from one side, and now it's my opportunity. Probably I am, and I don't want to undermine anyone in here. One of the ladies here who face many challenges, because when you're born in the country, you know the language very well, you know the government a little better or more than somebody who come here. So by starting with the language barrier, that's just a challenge.
Yes.
In 2004, I couldn't say 2 months in English. And then through the experience, the frustration, the rejection by the language that other members was doing against me, made me realize that I have to improve that part in order to compete or participating or be part of. Mm-hmm. The respect I gained through showing that I'm able to do the same thing with others came from respect others, but at the same time showing them that I have the same ability, including the language. It was not easy to accomplish that. So it was my first challenge, and it still is my challenge. Because when you learn second language, you don't have the same knowledge than other people who born into the same way of communication. But that doesn't stop me. And instead, encouraging me that they are the one need to know about me. Based in that. And I don't say in the way that I'm trying to be proud. It's just the opportunities they have and I have can be combined in one point and really enrich both sides.
Yes.
So that is one. Second one, the challenge of being a person from low income and be in the environment with the lawyers, business owner, people with name and money, have the opportunity to exercise, be elected officials. It's not the same as a low-income person, and my colleagues know that very well. So I had to maintain and support my family of 5 kids while I have to produce and be respectful for what I have done in the General Assembly. So economic aspect also is another challenge. The other challenge is be a woman, because people usually don't respect your opinion as the same way as they do for men. That's my third challenge. And my last one is, through the years, find a way to work with everybody with reducing minimal friction, because the purpose of me to be in the House is representing my district, but I know that representation is have impact in the entire state. It's not just my district. So with all those things in mind, every day is a challenge, every day has something that you have to keep in mind in order to continue to do the duty that you are elected for. So I'm sorry it took some time, but we as a woman elected officials, we have to maintain the status quo with the leadership that is there with respect, but demanding with respect, that way they can listen to you. But at the same time, keep in mind that you're there for your people, for your community. Yes. And it's something that I wake up every day thinking about how I can do that better.
Right. Thank you.
I think that because there's several challenges that I have experienced and find that it's extremely challenging in the General Assembly, is that trying to convince the majority of the population there that hardships need really exist in the poor neighborhoods and the community of color. It's where they would listen, but they would not hear a word that was being said. And I think that for the most part, that was simply because it never affected them. So you don't know a need unless you're in it. And by talking about it, often it was like, oh yeah, whatever. But it took a while before people started hearing what was being said to them. And when it became extremely difficult for me to convey that it is a reality, it is an us and them, I had to somewhat create a alter ego for them to start to hear what I was saying. And for most, as I've said, it's like Shanae come out, and when Shanae comes out, Shanae presents thing where everybody gives her the attention. And individuals by that start to not only listen, but hear what is being said. And once they have started to hear what is being said, it gave them enough confidence to ask questions about what it is I'm trying to convey. So with that, it's definitely something that has been challenging. It has come a long way from when I first started to today. Now you still have those Joe Rockheads that they don't want to hear it, they don't believe it, they're not interested in it, and I respect that. But the fact of the matter is, it is challenging for me to continue to represent the real world of the hardship from many individuals who are frontline workers. They're not only individuals that are depending on a system, but there are individuals that are working 2 and 3 jobs every single day to provide for their families. And without them, many of these institutions, many businesses would not thrive. These are frontline, low-wage workers that are assisting the state of Rhode Island to be what it is in the sense of productivity. Because if we were courageous enough to have a one day where every worker that's working and earning only minimum wage did not go to work, there would be a shutdown. There would be a crisis here in the state of Rhode Island. A real crisis where the attention would be, what are we going to do? Unfortunately, many of us who are those frontline workers making minimum wage can't afford to take that one day because it would be detrimental to them paying their rents, putting food on the table, and just being able to have transportation to go to and from their destination. So that continues to be a challenge. In as much as the state of Rhode Island is majority minority, we are not being properly represented in a fair way. Yet, it's coming because our challenges and our demographic is changing. Once it was Italian and Irish, then other. Now it's all of us, and you can't tell the difference in many cases.
That's some good stuff, ladies. Thank you. Thank you for sharing everything that you just said. One of my big challenges is trying to fit so much in a 24-hour day. Just having time. I work full-time as a teacher in Providence and trying to take care of my family and trying to take care of my mom, who is 90 years old, one of the primary caretakers for mom. So a lot of times when I leave the State House, I go to see mom. I call her multiple times a day. And so I'm constantly juggling different balls and deciding what do I keep up and which do I let fall. So that is a challenge. But I think I am doing it pretty well. Because again, this is not new. It's what my mother did, it's what my grandmothers did, and it's what women do all over this country. And certainly, it's what women are doing here in Rhode Island. So what are my challenges as a public servant and being in the State House all of 3 years? I think the challenge that I see is having members of the General Assembly getting used to black and brown bodies and women of color who do not come from wealth and do not always understand the language of wealth, because it's really a language, it's a culture. And so, but we are doing an amazing job there, trying to represent all of us. One of my challenge is fighting for all of us and feeling like trying hard to be heard and for the values that I represent, which are Rhode Island values, democratic values, to be heard. The fight for $15 an hour to make sure that people are able to pay their rent, pay their mortgage. I was driving today and I heard that the unemployment numbers are really good in Rhode Island, and one of my thought was it could be that people are doing 2 jobs, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of having one solid, good job that can pay their rent. So I think I think it takes time, right? Slow and steady does the race, and I want it now. Mm-hmm. I want it now because our neighbors, my constituents, need a $15 living wage. They need access to doula services. Children need to be fed. So for me, it's not, can we wait? I think the time is now. So my challenge is, how do I use persuasive language? How do I work with my colleagues so that we can join together and we can be in one accord and fighting for the values that all of us in this room and all of us on this panel share. So it's challenging, but my life has always been a challenge. I grew up understanding that I had to fight for everything. And one of the things that I tell my own children, that don't expect anyone to give you anything. You've got to work for it. You've got to earn it. And so I'm trying to earn my credits in the State House. I'm trying to earn it by using my voice. And I'm trying hard to be sensible about how I approach it, because like I said, it's a culture that I'm not aware of. I didn't intentionally seek public office, so I have a lot to learn, and there's a learning curve, right? And I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yes.
And in the process of figuring it out, I am committed to standing up and to representing my constituents and all of Rhode Islanders. But we need to act quickly because people are hurting, kids are hungry, and we cannot afford to wait. And so it's a struggle and it's a challenge, but I'm ready for it. I've overcome so much in my personal life. The greatest giant being that of poverty. Grew up in poverty, but I'm here representing people that look like me and people that don't look like me. Because even there are people that may be Caucasian, but they are poor, right? And so we're representing people that have been shut out of opportunities. And so the challenge for me is, how do I successfully bring those voices into the State House, and so that we can pass legislation that's going to impact people's lives and that's going to change the trajectory of people's life. It's just an emergency. We have to make sure that we're addressing those. And I think together we can do it. But it's a challenge, but we're up to it.
Wow, thank you, Marcia.
Yeah.
Now, you did mention something that I'm sure all three of you have key issues within your respective districts, and I'm sure you'll be working together. So, could you share with our viewers what those issues might be? And who knows, y'all can, I'm sure you will be working together.
First and foremost, I think that Representative Marcia Ranglin-Vassell touched on several things that I wanted to jump out on my skin with regards to unemployment being low. But the fact of the matter is, unemployment as I know it, the numbers when it's given is based on who is collecting and who is not. Mm-hmm. So the reality for me is those numbers that they are not putting into account that have exhausted their unemployment benefits and now are looking for employment and don't have it. Are they part of the numbers that they have presented to make that unemployment report actually the reality of things?
Okay.
So that's one thing that is like, again, just like saying there's low income and there's affordable rentals, housing. So, many of our community, our constituents, when they are presented with an opportunity, they are presented with it in a manner that they assume or project another interpretation for that particular word. The unemployment report is entirely different for me based on research or questioning than what you have presented here. Someone presenting, low-income apartments available in a particular sector of the community, opposed to from low income to affordable income. There's two distinct things. So education, I say all that because when we are being told information we need to be able to understand what exactly is being said to us and the meaning of what's being said to us. Because we take it in believing one thing when reality it's not what we perceived it to be. So we have a lot of learning to do on the inside. I wasn't brought up in politics, but I believe everyday life has something politically in it. You go to a store and you're looking for that hookup. It's got a tier over here. It's $20, but can I get 10% off? So you're over there negotiating, and that's something similar when you're in that arena representing your constituency. You're representing their issues, and you're saying, look, we're over here on the south, and you're over there on the north. And the north seems to be very well taken care of, in whatever category that may be. But here we are with the same exact needs. Why is it so different? Am I willing to ask you to sacrifice some of what you have in the north to be able to assist my folks on the south? And so it's a bartering kind of situation, I find, the establishment. But you have to not only always be the one representing your constituents, but you have to, as far as I'm concerned, have your constituent come and represent themselves as well. Because oftentimes I find that although I represent a very needy, at one point it was the poorest district in the state, it's where they're not over there asking for a handout. Most times they're asking for a hand. Present to me the tools so that I can take it and better myself. And individuals interpret that request to mean that, I'm going to be on the system, I'm going to be an individual that now that's going to become a way of life. Not to say that there aren't those individuals that, they find it and they're going to abuse it. But that abuse is on every level of the economic ladder, where you have those that are super rich and they're still looking for a hookup, and then they're the super poor that's looking for a hand up. So the interpretation with many of the experiences that I find us encountering is based on the communication that is being presented and given. So,
Well, we're really running out of time, so I'm going to ask you ladies one more question and just chime in, actually two. One. So the first one is, do you all have any opportunities for high school and college students? And if you're aware of any such resources, do you know the deadline?
Deadline for opportunities, when you say it, that's broad. So those opportunities you start seeking them in March. We're almost in June.
Yes.
So that's next year.
Okay.
College students, you have internship for the summer, but what's going on in the summer? We're not there in the summer. So it's the early bird gets the worm. Time has passed. The worm is already back or got taken. As far as that's my experience.
But I think there are opportunities in the city of Providence.
Yes, that was my
that students and young people, young adults can take charge of or apply for.
Yes.
It's out there in the universe. I see it online. I know. There's a lot of outreach going on through City Hall to get that word out, and I've been sharing that information as well. I don't know if you have anything to add on that.
Yes, you are correct. The City of Providence is offering opportunity to students from the age of 14 to 24, which include middle school to college. And for college specifically, they have a scholarship. They have internship. And the registration is starting in March, at the end of March, and running into beginning of June. If the people want to be part of that or looking for the opportunity, they can go to providenceRI.gov, looking for summer job, and they still can be registered online. Unfortunately, as a state legislator, we don't have a direct opportunity to offer, but sometimes if people approach, we're able to redirecting students or college students to opportunity that we know other agencies and city is offering. So I believe, and I'm talking on behalf of my colleagues here, that we always open to guide into helping anyone who's looking for opportunity, because sometimes we know a little bit and we can put people in track.
Yes.
And if folks want to volunteer with us for the summer, there are certainly research opportunities out there. Maybe students are away home from college, and they could do that as well.
Right. Well, I'm going to give you ladies 1 minute each if you'd like to make some closing remarks.
Thank you so much, Karen and Rodney, for giving us this opportunity and this space to share our thoughts about how it's going. I am grateful to you. I don't take it for granted. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the opportunity to sit with my colleagues and to do a shared interview. We've actually never done this before, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. We should do it again, ladies.
Yes.
It's good. But I want to just share with my constituents that I want them to know that I'm working as hard as I can for them. I want to say to you out there at HD5 that I appreciate you, I love you, I thank you for the confidence that you have shared, given, and trusted in me to represent you at the State House. I hope that I am taking your voices there and your needs there and everything. I'm accessible. You know that you can call me anytime. I walk from school. I teach in the district, so I walk, and I get a chance to see some of you all the time, and more as the weather breaks, I'll see you a lot more. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Marcia.
Yeah.
And also I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to Karen, my good friend, who's always thinking of us to see how we can find opportunity to get into the constituents, to be viewed by others that maybe don't have any chance to do that. And for us, it's very costly to find a way to connect with constituents, so this is a great opportunity for us to get to them and they know what we're doing. But my closing remark is about what my mother taught me when I was little. She said, "My dear, I cannot give you money, but I can help you to get educated." And my mother put a lot of energy and love to put me in the right school to get the opportunity. And that is what I try to do in my district. I know my district faces so many challenges, but all of those challenges can be improved or moving people to another level if they are in front of education opportunity. If they get educated, they probably get a better opportunity, better job, and then they can move in life. Because I experienced that, and I see the effect of opportunity to quality education in my district from babies to adulthood. So even though the community that I'm representing facing a lot of challenges, I want them to know that I'm working every single day to bring opportunity for them, for education, for jobs, for child care, quality child care opportunity for children. They are our future. We need to invest in children in order to change the state landscaping. We want to see people of color in the future in good leadership position. We need to invest today, and that is part of my mission at the State House.
Thank you.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Karen and Rodney for the pleasure of being able to express some of my opinions and concerns to the viewers that are going to be watching us. But in addition to all of that, I want to assure everyone that every day we're at the State House, we stand up and we pledge an allegiance to a flag. And we pledge it for justice for all. So it is certainly a thing that I thrive to make sure that it is justice for all. I am proud to say that I am a voice for the people that I represent in District Number 9 in the city of Providence. But not only that district, but for individuals in the state of Rhode Island. We have more in common than not. But fear is something that we have to overcome and join forces to be able to make changes. I am up to the challenge. I have proven myself of that. But I want to say to all of you that we must be the change that we're looking for in order to make changes that are needed today. It is justice for all, and I stand alongside of my women sisters, colleagues in government today and even after today, because for me it's a way of life, and I am blessed by the grace of God to have the courage, the integrity, and the loyalty to continue to serve all the people in the state of Rhode Island.
Well, thank you, ladies. You really warmed my heart. I see you're working hard for your constituents and the state of Rhode Island, and you're sincere. And folks, I'm so happy that you see the sincerity and the levels of commitment. So I want to say thank you for watching Africa Teaching, and please continue to watch us in the future. Have a great day, and you can make a difference too by calling these ladies at the State House. If you would like to help, volunteer, or work within your community, contact them, give them a call. You are resourceful as well, and perhaps you could partner with these state representatives. Take care. Thanks for watching Africa Teaching.